We gotta just chill out, man.
Pittsburgh Steeler fans, welcome back to another episode of the Scho Bro Show. This is Steel Curtain Network's Dave Schofield coming at you Tuesday night, just after 9 p.m. Where else would you rather be, Steelers fans? And with me as always, except when he's not, is my big brother Rich, Big Bro Scho. How are you doing tonight?
We're going to start by taking just a moment to breathe in yet some more sweet smell of Steeler victory.
Yeah, that's that sweet smell of December victory. Because, you know, it's a long December. You know,
yes.
And there's reason to believe that maybe this year will be better than the last.
That's right.
And yes, I'll tell you what, it has been refreshing. The question tonight is, how high can the Steelers stack wins in December? They've stacked 3 wins in December, 3-0 in December. They've got one more December game. And if they manage to stack that 4th win, no matter what happens in Green Bay Saturday night, they stack that 4th win, they're AFC North champs. That's the short of it. That's how it goes. That's how it is. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I tell you, I opened up my Mike Tomlin press conference recap podcast today by saying I was not looking forward to Tomlin Tuesday this week. And the reason I was not looking forward to Tomlin Tuesday this week is I am not ready to turn the page to week 17. This week 16 was just so sweet. I'm not ready to move on from it. I'm really not. So you know what? We're gonna talk about it and everything, but we're also gonna talk about things going forward. Sound good? I mean, are you feeling the same way?
Let me just say this. I'm still trying to recover. That game probably took years off of my life.
Did I send you the exact same text at the end of each half?
Now you're going to make me go and look.
Now.
It's... I'd never heard Kyle yelling at the TV as much as he was, which was almost as much as I was. So, poor Renee, she was just suffering through.
I mean, the Detroit took a knee at the end of the first half. The teams are running off the field. You're letting me know I'm free to because I like to edit the first half of your knee-jerk reaction article at halftime, so that way it doesn't take so much at the end, you know, having the 2 sets of eyes on it. And I said to him, like, I'm still trying to figure out a way that they're going to come out and turn around and say that wasn't a touchdown for Gainwell. I mean, yeah. They kicked the extra point. I still was nervous about it. They kick off. I was still nervous about it.
When the game was over, you said, just like the end of the first half, I have no idea what I just watched.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just crazy. Well, we've got lots to talk about. I will tell you this. I'm going to give an update as to what shows we're going to have and when due to the holiday. I'm going to give that. Rich has to help me remember coming out of the break. So that way, when people come in later, we don't have a bunch of people asking something that we've already addressed. So I'll talk about the SCN podcast schedule at that time. I want to bring something up here. It's a different subject. We have a few subjects that we're going to knock out here at the beginning so we can really dive more into the game now that we kind of gave our overall thoughts. First one's first. This is from Brian Miswa. Brian, I'm kind of disappointed in you a little bit. You're going to find out why. He says, anyone know how Fields done for the season is going to affect our draft picks for him? Will we still even get one? Brian, the reason I'm disappointed is that this tells me that you're not coming to SteelCurtainNetwork.com. Because at SteelCurtainNetwork.com, every Thursday, I give a compensatory draft pick update. It's based on, because every week it changes a little bit because it's based on what percentage of snaps players play for the season. So obviously these things are changing. I've done one every week. You'll have one on Christmas Day again, unless Jeff tells me that he's going to adjust it because of it being Christmas. I'm planning on having it for Christmas Day again. And I've been saying for a very long time, Justin Fields is already locked in. It didn't matter. Justin Fields was a 4th-round compensatory draft pick. This is based on the estimations and everything tracked it over the cap. I trust what they do. They keep the numbers. I look at their numbers. Their numbers are great. Now, there's a little bit of flaw with the system and of just how it changes the mentality of people, that they think that people have, that they're punished for not playing enough snaps. No, because it's before the season started, it's all estimated. That's why. So Justin Fields did not change for the Steelers for a very long time. I have 2 categories at the end of the article where it says, Brian, it's funny because Brian says, okay, I didn't even know. I'll have to pay more attention. I'll be honest with you. It's going to be a picture of Dan Moore on the article, probably every week, because he's the only one that matters right now, because Justin Fields was so high in the 4th round, he potentially could have moved to the 3rd round, but he was going to have to play like 90% of the snaps. When he missed, week 2 with the concussion? Or was it week 3? It was really early. That all but took him out of moving up to week 3. Then all of a sudden he gets benched. But he played just enough in there that as long as he played 25% of the snaps, there was no way he was going to drop out of the 4th round. He's been locked in there for a long time. There's been some bad information out there. I even had to comment on a tweet that I saw. Alan Saunders does a good job when he does like salary cap stuff, but somebody else for his site wrote an article about compensatory, and it was just flat up wrong. It was false. It was false information. It was saying that the Steelers are now not in line for the same number of draft picks because of this and Najee Harris. Wrong. It's wrong. So I'm sorry I'm taking a minute to address this here, bro. But the limit of compensatory draft picks you can have is 4. The Steelers actually projected at the beginning of the year could have had as many as 6, but the rules don't allow it. Now, because of some of these things, they've dropped down to what? To 4, which is the maximum. The only thing that has changed so far from what it was at the beginning of the season to now is Russell Wilson did not play enough snaps, got benched, and got moved from where he started off to where they thought he would be a 4th-round pick. He dropped to a 5th-round pick. Dan Moore Jr. is barely holding on right now because he's missed a game and a half due to injury. If he'd have missed that game in week 1, he would have dropped to a 4th-rounder. Then it would have been easing his way back up. That's the way the projections go. But because he did it late in the season, it drops him down. He's close, but he played all but 1 snap last week. As long as he plays the last 2 weeks of the season, he should be fine. So the Steelers are right now in line for 3, 4, 6, and 6. That's what it's looking. Got to keep coming back and checking in on the Dan Moore situation at SteelCurveNetwork.com. Did I do that precise enough, bro?
Good enough for me.
Okay, so there's that one. Other news. Steelers had 3 players selected to the Pro Bowl. Okay. We've got Jalen Ramsey as a safety. We've got TJ Watt. And then we've got the special teamer. I guess it makes him a Scho Bowler. I don't know if you saw that anywhere. Benny Scho, Ben Skoranek is a Pro Bowler as the special teams guy. Snubs. Any snubs you feel so far for the Steelers?
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of people would say Chris Boswell. Is that your number 1?
Number 1.
See, to me, it's not, because here's the problem with with being a Pro Bowl kicker.
Maybe not number 1, but it's like maybe not number 1, but it's like right. They take 1 kicker, okay, but to me, everybody's going to look at it as like one tiny little snapshot, but really, the past 3 years, Boswell's been out of this world, and is not getting the Pro Bowl nod.
To me, here's the thing. This is what has to happen for a kicker to make it to the Pro Bowl. Well, first of all, Bos missed the short kick this past week. Bad snap, but doesn't matter. It still looked bad. That didn't help. But anyway, I don't know how much stuff was locked in before that, anywho. But to me, to be a Pro Bowl or All Pro kicker, you have to both get the job done and get the right situations that stand out.
Yeah.
Boswell has not had as many standout situations this year as he did last year. That's the difference. And honestly, Cameron Dicker kind of has.
Yeah.
So, and he's a good kicker too. So I don't want to take away anything from him. I would call them pretty much close to even. But he's had more situational kicks this year than Boswell has. So to me, that's really the difference. And so you could be the best kicker in the NFL, and if you're not put in a situation to come through in the key moments for your team, just based on your team being one really good or really bad, or just not needing game-winning field goals and stuff of that nature, that's going to affect it. That's just the nature of the game. No, it's no more different than, wow, some quarterbacks put up really big numbers because they have to pass the ball so much because their defense sucks and stuff like that. So that's just the way the NFL works. To me, I thought the biggest snub was Cam Hayward. He's the number one rated interior defensive lineman. He's played more snaps as an interior defensive lineman than anyone in the NFL, and he's like 107 years old. So to me, I thought that was a pretty big snub. Anyone else you want to mention out there?
Those are the two big ones that come to mind. You could make some other arguments if you really wanted to, but those Boswell and Hayward are the two that is just like, really, they could be there.
Yeah. I like how Matt Catt, great commenter at SteelCurtainNetwork.com. If there's an open thread for other games that aren't Steelers, like Jeff had this past week for the 1 p.m. games, he's in there to where if you're not watching these games, you can follow all the key highlights. He's laying them all out through the whole thing and loves doing it. I've gone in there to comment before and said, you know what? I don't want to mess up his streak. I'm letting him go. But he says Boswell made 41 of 44 kicks at a 93% or 93+% clip last season, 24 of 28 this season. This is simple math. So yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yep, I do.
So,
but I'd much rather have Boswell kicking more PATs than field goals.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Which we've done this year. So
I mean, how many games has he not had a field goal?
Yeah.
He's had a couple, at least a couple.
Yep.
Because he didn't even have a field goal attempt. That's what happens when your team's successful in the red zone. Now, they weren't this past week. They were 0 for 3, but otherwise, that's what you do. Anything else you want to say about the Pro Bowl? I thought Zach Frazier's close, but he's one of the top 3 in the AFC, and the other 2 are the ones that were voted. I'm not shocked by it, but yeah.
Yeah. The Pro Bowl has been a waste for 20 years.
Yeah.
It hasn't been relevant for 20 years. It really doesn't matter.
And honestly, then you'll get replacements. Like I saw, it was announced that that Connor Hayward is an alternate for the Pro Bowl as a fullback.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
I mean, so you're going to get so many alternates and other stuff, and people that'll get to go. It's just a recognition right off the bat, and people are like, oh, it's all about the fan voting. I think the fan voting's still only 25% of it. So that's just some stuff. All right, so enough about that. Let's move on to some other news. Let's knock out the DK Metcalf stuff right now.
Okay.
Sound good? All right.
Sure.
You make it DK Metcalf altercation with a fan. I have a theory about something, but I couldn't confirm it. This was a fan that he had reported to security last year in Detroit when he was playing for Seattle. There were some people, I mean, the craziness about some of this stuff that goes on social media is ridiculous. People saying this fan was in Seattle last year, and this year he wasn't in Seattle last year. Seattle was in Detroit last year. And the guy had blue hair and was wearing a blue wig. I think he was trying to disguise himself, holding up the Metcalf jersey, having the wig in front of his face to get DK to pay attention to him and then show that he was the guy. That's just my own personal opinion. That's my conspiracy theory. But anyway, DK went over to him, never should have done it. Grabbed him by the shirt, shoved him away by the shirt. DK says that he said certain things. This guy says that all he did was use his government issued name, his full name on his birth certificate. It's so interesting. So many people online are saying there's no video evidence that the fan said what DK said that he said. There's also no video evidence that the guy called him by that name. Plus, DK has his own record that he would be preferred to be called by his real name, but people can't say it right, so he goes by DK. So that's a whole thing. I'm really surprised. I thought it would be a 1-game suspension. And then when it was 2, I thought they would reduce it to 1 when they saw the other circumstances. I mean, I know there was an issue with Lamar Jackson and a fan. That was as the team was leaving the field. That fan reached out and struck a different player, and Lamar Jackson went after it. That's a different scenario. It wasn't during the game, and he was going over to the fan for no reason. But I get it. I know within the past 5 years, there was some issues with some stuff in Philadelphia where players came over and interacted and with some stuff with fans there. Being in Philadelphia, I'm not surprised. Maybe the league's trying to change how they're acting about this, but to me, this could even, if things go right in Green Bay Saturday night, you might not have wanted to play DK in either of these games anyway.
It could turn into a big nothing burger.
Yeah.
Or it could turn into a, man, that was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. If things don't go well in week 17 and it comes down to week 18, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Steelers don't even have to rely on somebody else and can take care of business on Sunday anyway, which we'll get to eventually. Yep. Yeah. Now, I want to clear up some stuff that some people might not understand. You know me, I'm the salary cap guy, the comp pick guy. So this is another salary cap issue. There's also the report, or not even the report. The people have been bringing up about the $45 million guarantee money that now is voided. The money's not voided. The guarantee is voided.
Correct.
So unless the Steelers cut DK Metcalf, these guarantees for 2026 and even 2027, they're not guaranteed money now. So if something happened where Metcalf got hurt and the Steelers moved on from him, or if they just decided they didn't want him around anymore and they cut him, that's not money that they have to then pay him and go towards the salary cap. But if they keep him around, they're going to pay him the money anyway. That's the thing that's always been different with the Pittsburgh Steelers, is that the players want guaranteed money. And the Steelers never really offered that much guaranteed money. They're like, because we don't just cut you, we keep you. And that was the reputation the Steelers had. And that's why they're like, people are so caught up on guaranteed money, we're not getting rid of you. So it's not like I said, it's not like Russell Wilson in Denver, where they had all this money they still had to give him. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I knew that's how it worked. I knew everybody. I was saying the same things you were. The guarantee is gone. The guaranteed money isn't gone, but the guarantee is no longer connected.
Yeah.
With the money.
Money's not gone. The guarantee of the money is what's gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're not going to see anything different. I know I'm going to get a bunch of questions in the offseason. Why is DK Metcalf's salary cap hit so high? I thought he lost his guaranteed money because of this. No, he didn't lose. He lost the guarantee. He didn't lose the money. As long as the Steelers keep him, the money is the money.
The money is the money.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's get back to knocking out some more highlights and stuff. Anything you want to talk about with this game, as soon as I bring up the super chat.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. This is from Thomas JP. Said, I would love 2 Sundays of stress-free football. Go Packers. $4.99 at the tip jar. We really appreciate that. Absolutely. That would be nice. But you want to know what? That is a luxury, but I don't need that. If the Steelers want to win the AFC North, go beat the friggin' Browns.
That's right. Go beat the friggin' Browns.
Now, would it be nice to go into that game and not have to be exactly what Thomas is saying, not have to be stressed about it? For us as fans, absolutely. But guess what? I'm not going to be upset one bit if something happens, because I'll be honest with you, other than this, I couldn't decide exactly what word I wanted to use. I'll go with this one. Other than that jabroni of a fan in Detroit, otherwise, I like the Lions. I'd love to see them make the postseason. I'd love to see a Lions Steelers Super Bowl. That would be fantastic. So the one silver lining is I could say, well, at least the Lions are still alive. But Green Bay has a chance to lock up the postseason by winning at home against the Ravens. They do. And if I was them, that's what I would want to do. Because once again, it's not guaranteed, because Green Bay, who did they have last week of the season? They have Minnesota or Chicago. They've got to play Minnesota, but in Minnesota. So yeah. Don't know the quarterback situations going on there. There's still more of that. I know Lamar didn't practice today. A bunch of stuff. Well, I'm pretty sure Jordan Love was limited, which means that's the first step of the protocol. If he didn't practice at all, he would have been in trouble.
Jordan Love and Malik.
Yeah,
we're both limited.
See, the thing is, though, when it's a concussion, you're either good or you're not.
Yeah.
It's not like I've got a sore shoulder. How much can I do? You're either out of the protocol and clear, or you're in the protocol and can't play. So there we go. So we brought that up a little bit. Man, there was some crazy stuff in that game.
Some.
Yeah. We'll start with the biggie. What was your thoughts on the ultimate outcome? Not us having to wait forever to hear what they finally figured out, them not making a call on the field or anything. What was your thoughts of the final outcome of the final play of the game?
The final outcome. Well, I'm actually watching that play go down. At first, I couldn't see that St. Brown was trying to lateral that football. At first, I thought it was a fumble.
Yeah.
To which
From
I
where
was
the
like,
camera angle was on the side, it was
correct.
Not a good angle. Yeah, you're right.
I thought it was a fumble, to which I'm sitting there saying, well, if it's a fumble and Goff recovered it and ran in the end zone, that can't count anyway because the holy roller rule.
Exactly. It has to be a backwards pass. It has to be an intentional motion to throw it backwards.
Then I'm actually sitting there thinking, he caught the ball at the 1. They pushed him back to the 5.
Oh, it was like the 7, dude. Yeah,
right. It's like 2 guys wrapped him up way back. How's that not forward progress?
Exactly. And that would have been a real big issue. And honestly, I think they were ready to call forward progress, and I think there's a reason they didn't. Okay.
The reason they didn't is because of how the play ultimately played out.
Exactly.
They knew the call was pass interference. They let the play run out to the end, and even though Detroit takes the ball into the end zone because of the flag, it's over.
Yeah, and here's
I still can't get over. Wait, my moment for a soapbox. I still can't get over the number of fans that do not understand the rule that the game can end on an offensive penalty.
Yeah, because think about it. It's competitive balance. The game can't end on a defensive penalty, because if not, the defense would just commit penalties. They would just run in and grab face masks and everything else and whatnot to end the game. And they wouldn't get another play. Now, offense, it can end on an offensive penalty if there's no time left. That's why you've seen stuff like this before. And I've actually thought of this as a coach. You want to go punt the ball. There's it's 4th and whatever. It's 12 seconds left. It could be, if it's 2, you're not going to punt it. Let's say there's 12 or 15 seconds left. I told my players this before. This was like the next to last play I ever coached. I'm like, don't let them block it. Grab a hold of them. Tackle them to the ground. I don't care about a penalty. Because all a penalty would do would give us an untimed down, then we could take a knee.
Right.
So you can play it to your advantage as the offense if you're leading. But if you're coming from behind and you run out of time, why would you be given a play when you ran out of time?
Yeah, you ran out of time, and you ran out of time by making an illegal play. Why would we give you why do you deserve another chance?
Yes. Yeah.
I know, but
because
it was
you ran out of time.
So funny to watch how many people, like, as I've looked through stuff, how many people don't understand that rule.
Dude, I'm so tired. That's why I've got to stop looking at people online. I really have to. I really do, because I mean I do a really good job of not seeing it much, but it's like I can't stand it. I mean, my goodness, you even get analysts and former players that just don't get the rules. It's just like we had a big discussion about the whole non-touchdown of Isaiah Likely against the Steelers. We broke that down on the show for a long time. Because if you apply the rule was applied correctly. If you don't like the rule, you don't like the rule. That's how that was.
Yep.
Same thing here. To me, when the officials were gathered and talking, they were figuring out two things.
Yep.
And either one of them was going to work out great for the Steelers.
Correct.
They just had to decide what they were going to do. Okay.
Yep.
They were either going to have to say, all right, with 2 seconds left, his forward progress was stopped at the 1 yard line.
The Steelers declined the penalty.
The Steelers declined the penalty, and then they have to take a snap, which honestly, you don't care if it's a safety because
correct.
You got to take the 2 seconds off the clock. You don't care. You really don't care. It could be a fumble as long as they don't push it into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. And we're going to make these guys come out here and smash into each other for a meaningless play because we're going to call forward progress stopped. Or we're going to say that the play ran out. We let the play go, which ran out the clock, and then they accept the penalty, and the game's over, and we don't have to run another snap.
Yep.
That's all they were.
That's all they were trying to figure out.
All they were trying to figure out.
Now, what was hilarious today was Kyle and I, while we were waiting to pick up pizza this evening, we were watching Pittsburgh Dad.
Did you? Oh, I watched that today.
Oh my gosh! You know he's like the referees are there. It started with the referees are there. They're making their list. They're checking it twice.
Yeah,
maybe 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good one.
Yep.
My wife even really enjoyed that. But bottom line is, my wife asked me a question on that play. And that was, why would the receiver run in and shove the guy that much when it's an obvious penalty? And you know what I had to give her as an answer?
What?
Because it's only a penalty if the officials will actually call it.
Yep.
And too many officials want to keep their hands out of their pocket and leave the flag in there when it's the last play of the game, even when it's really bad. How many times do you see pass interference on a Hail Mary and they won't call it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, don't want to bring it up. Look at the snow debacle on a Thursday night last year in Cleveland. When who was it? Was it Ward, Denzel Ward? Basically tackled George Pickens out of bounds. I mean, that should have been a penalty, and the Steelers should have had a chance to kick a field goal to win the game. What he was doing. But they know that the officials are probably not going to call it again. I'm so glad they did. It's funny because people are like, that shouldn't have been a penalty. Oh, that one was one, but the one earlier shouldn't have been called. Okay? The one earlier that should have been called was the one on Darnell Washington. Okay? The reason he got called for that one because he's big.
Yeah.
His feet stopped. He stopped his feet, and the defender ran into him. He has a right to stand there. The one that they called back, which was funny because I'd already said, and they lost. I'd already called up because my wife was upstairs. My son was watching with me. I'm like, and they lost. They just scored with 22 seconds left. She's like, can Boz win it? I'm like, I don't know. Wait, there's a flag. Because it took him a long time to put that graphic up on the TV.
The other thing is, as that play ran, the camera angle, you couldn't see everything.
Yeah. But if you watch the replay, who was it? Reynolds? Was that the guy that ran the pick on that one?
I don't know if it was him or Williams. It was
He
one of the two.
lowered his shoulder.
Yep.
He lowered the shoulder. He put the shoulder into him. If he doesn't put the shoulder into him, same result, touchdown.
Now, of course, some of the talking heads on ESPN and were saying, "Oh, that shouldn't have been a penalty because the defensive player runs into him." Okay, but even if the defensive player came in that, but him by lowering his shoulder, told you what his intention was.
So if you want to talk about offensive pass interference calls, and this is not just my Homer glasses, people might accuse me of it, but still, most incorrect to most correct. There was 4 called. There actually should have been 5. The last Detroit touchdown was the same thing. The only question was it close enough to the line of scrimmage that you could get away with it?
Correct.
That's the only difference with that one.
Yep.
Okay. So that one, if they would have called that one, that might have been into the weaker category. But we already had weaker category ones. The weakest one of them all was the one on DK Metcalf.
Yep.
The next weakest, in my opinion, was the Darnell Washington because he was only flagged because he was big, because he stopped. Go back and watch replay. Watch his feet. His feet stop because he doesn't want to run into him.
Yes.
Then it was the one that was the first one that was called back, and then obviously the last one was the most egregious of them all. So yeah. So those were interesting. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. We're not done talking about this game though. We have a few other points. Then we're going to be on to Cleveland. I'll give an update of the SCN schedule. So stick around. We will be right back after these messages.
Relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, don't worry, relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, relax.
All right, we got to relax, Rich. Don't worry, and you listeners out there, relax. Don't worry. I've got to update. People were asking the post-game show. We said, tune in to Scho Bro. We'll give you the rundown. Here's the deal. So tomorrow you'll get your Let's Ride. You'll get your Steel City Insider going out on the audio side. But you're also going to have a Steelers preview tomorrow on Christmas Eve. We're going to be live, and it's going to be early because it's the only time the three of us are actually free with our schedules. The main one is Brian Anthony Davis. He has some family obligations later on. I was willing to go Christmas evening, but we couldn't fit all three of us on a regular Thursday. It's going to be like 10 a.m. We even considered just recording it and putting it out on YouTube later. We did that right before Thanksgiving, and a lot of people who didn't hear that announcement at the beginning didn't even know. But we're going to go ahead and go live. There will be a Steel City Insider at some point. Not Steel City Insider, sorry. Pump Your Brakes at some point tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon, evening as well. They're probably not going to go as late as they normally do, but they said that they were still going to go. So on the audio side, one of those, if not both of them, will be held to Christmas Day. Only one of them will be held to Christmas Day. I'm just not sure which one between the preview and Pump Your Brakes. We will have Pittsburgh Standard Time with Greg and I on Christmas morning. And we might have something else in there, but that would be TBD because we have the Steelers Fix going on Friday instead. At 11 o'clock, Jeff Hartman's still going to have a Let's Ride for you Friday morning. Black and Gold Blueprint, Roy Countryman's show. Because they usually record on Thursday night, they're not going to record on Christmas. They're recording Friday. You will have that show on Saturday. We'll be right back into everything by that time. So there we go. All right, back to everything here, Rich.
Okay. What?
When the Steelers, quote unquote, made the stop on 4th down, my son took off. I was sitting. He was pacing. As soon as they did, he took off up the stairs to tell his mother that the Steelers won. and I had to start yelling, and he's screaming to her. I'm like, hold on, there's a flag. Well, there was 2 flags. Those were late. I'm not saying it was the wrong call, and 2 different people threw the flag on it. But man, they came in so late.
Oh, you're talking about the play where they hit Duggar with the
Yeah.
PI on 4th and 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a little late. Somebody in here said, hold on, got to go back and find who said it. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, someone said about the Duggar PTI, or PTI PI.
Yeah.
I'll find it. Oh, there we go. Was it this one? Outside Steeler fan, they wanted to
There you
extend the
go.
game on the
Yes.
Duggar PI.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the famous, let's close enough, throw the flag, let's keep this game interesting.
When you slowed it down, you could see that he was there maybe a tick early. But I've seen plays like that are that early or earlier not get called. I think
Yep.
the most egregious pass interference call that I saw not called was towards the end of the game. Did you see that one in Baltimore, New England?
No.
Oh, my
no,
goodness.
I
It
did
was when
not.
New England was going down trailing by 3. They threw a deep one down to about the 10-yard line. Humphrey just flat up tackled him. He tackled him. He brought him to the ground. And while the guy was going to the ground, he went to catch the ball, bobbled it, and Humphrey knocked it away from him, laying down nonchalantly. But he had his head down because he knew he interfered with him. And everyone's like, well, where'd the flag go? Where did it go? No one ever threw it. It was one of the most egregious pass interference calls that wasn't called I've ever seen. But you know what? The Patriots ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive anyway, so they won, so it didn't matter. But it was a bad one. So technically the one by Duggar was what it was. But a lot of times on 4th down, yeah, the call's going to go in the way of the team that's trying to get back in it.
Yeah. I know.
That's just how it goes.
Yep.
So, yeah, that last drive, I mean, especially the doink.
Oh.
That's the thing that got me. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If the Steelers were up by 8, I'm afraid they'd have played a little bit softer and given up the touchdown and tried to stop the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to regret how it played out because they ended up winning. But, man, that was such a short field goal. If Boz kicks out a little bit higher over the upright, he probably gets the call because he hit it square in the middle.
Yeah.
So, whew.
Yeah. Crazy.
There you go. Brian Brown says, remind me of the Joe Hayden PI against Drew Brees and the Saints. That was on Alvin Kamara in the end zone. That was 2018 in the last week of the season. I remember that one. Yeah. So, so it was what it was. Anything else you want to say about the last drive there?
No, nothing else that I need to say about that.
Anything else you want to say in particular about the game, or do you want to kind of talk about some overarching? I have a couple overarching things before we move on.
Yeah, a couple things about that game. Dave, I don't think you put it in your numbers thing.
Okay.
Did you put 45 in your number?
Yes, I did.
Okay, gotta make sure because that was so weird of scoring 3 touchdowns, each of them at 45 yards.
Okay, here's what you don't
That's
understand.
crazy.
What else is so weird? Okay, I'm going in to check right now again. I put this in my numbers article. Okay, do you realize that those 2 45-yard touchdowns were Jalen Warren's only carries of the fourth quarter?
Really?
He touched the ball twice and ran for a long touchdown on both of them.
Nice.
They are both scored as 45-yard touchdowns. I went back and watched the highlights. They are either at or even behind the 45-yard line. But if you go, this is on the Steelers media site, who just reports the stats of the official NFL stats. Do you know what Jalen Warren's stats are for the fourth quarter?
What?
2 carries
For 89 yards?
for 89 yards. How do you have 2 45-yard touchdowns, no carries for negative yardage, and only have 89 yards? It makes no sense. I mean, don't be surprised if the NFL, tomorrow or whenever they do it, changes Jalen Warren's 143 rushing yards to 144. Because it makes no mathematical sense what happened there.
143 to 144? Or are you talking from 143 to 142 and take a yard off?
No, I think I
Oh,
think they
gotcha.
need to add the 90th yard from the fourth quarter.
Gotcha.
Because what's crazy is he had 54 yards in the first three quarters. If you go back and look at all those, it's one of those screwy things. I don't get it. So that was crazy. Anything else you want to say narrative wise?
In terms of anything in particular in the game, I'm just going to give a shout out. Actually, I'm going to give two shout outs. I'm going to give shout out to the two guys on the left side of the offensive line. Andrews Pete and Dylan Cook played great.
I mean, it wasn't Andrews Pete the whole time, but yeah.
No, but it was him for a good portion of the
And
time.
especially when they went jumbo.
Yes.
It was him. Yeah.
Really, that whole left side, Spencer Anderson when he was there, Andrews Pete when he was there, but really Dylan Cook at left tackle, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job holding it down.
I was rewatching the game today. I actually am not quite finished. I was close to finishing it up before we started tonight. And I went back and I'm like, oh, that's right. They talked about the Steelers hitting 100 yards rushing. It was in the fourth quarter. It was the beginning of the fourth quarter. Steelers had 90 yards rushing through the first three quarters of the game. Okay, and then 100, and then put up 140 or whatever it was in the fourth quarter, or 135. I mean, so they had 95. Sorry, they had 95 yards rushing.
Yep,
and through the first three quarters. You talk about now. Granted, you had the two big 45-yard runs, so that was 90 of the 135. So they basically had. Oh, remember they only counted 89. But they had Jonnu Smith had 28. Kenneth Gainwell had 18. And they said Jalen Warren had 89 with two 45-yard touchdowns. That was a big deal. So the Steelers, you could talk all you want to, the Detroit defense. They were struggling against the pass. But when you got to the end of that game, especially after the Steelers wore them down in the third quarter by possessing it for over 14 minutes, they ran all over them in the fourth quarter.
They did.
And that's what you want from a team, to run the ball well late when you have a lead.
Yep.
The Detroit Lions had a phenomenal rushing attack coming into this game. Top 5 running game. What's so crazy is that they had 18 yards rushing at halftime and finished with 15.
Yep.
They only ran the ball one time in the second half.
For minus 3 yards.
For minus 3 yards. But think about it. The first drive, they were backed up to the 2-yard line. They tried to pass on first down because they were trying to get the Steelers defense selling out against the run. They got pressure. He had to throw it away. Second one, they just did a short dump out pass because that's what they were trying to do instead. Get the ball outside away from the interior players for the Steelers defense that were playing great. They were trying to get the ball to them in space on the outside. So they were using short passes in place of the run game, which I've been in favor of the Steelers doing at times. So they were doing that. They just had the 2 yard. Then there was the sack. The one rush. Do you remember what it was? I don't remember what it was.
Was it on that last drive?
It was on the last drive.
First play, I think.
The first play, because there was 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
Yes.
There was going to be the 2-minute warning. And I'm like, got to look for a run here. They might try to catch the Steelers off guard because they haven't run it at all, and catch them off guard because they'll stop the clock. Minus 3 yards.
Yeah.
So how can you not feel good about that with this game?
You have to feel good about it.
Both ran the ball well and stopped the run against the top scoring offense in the NFL this season and last season.
Yeah.
You can't swing it any other way with the narrative. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was the game was more complete. It was specifically for the third week in a row, more complete second half.
Yeah.
The third quarter, the Steelers the past couple games have just dominated the third quarter.
Yeah. And believe it or not, they dominated the beginning of the fourth quarter. Because
Yeah.
think about it. Detroit had one drive. It was for -3 yards and a safety. Technically, it was for more than -3 because the safety, they lost more than 3 yards, but it's just like a touchdown. You don't get credit for the yardage into the end zone.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. The second drive was worse. Well, I mean, it didn't give up points, but yardage wise, it was a 3 and out, -5 yards on a false start, and 3 incompletions.
Yeah.
Those were the first 2 drives of the second half. That's where
Now-
the Steelers played complimentary football. And after that punt, they went down. After that punt, they were up 5 points and went down and scored a touchdown.
Now, Dave, did some of that complimentary football happen because of Cam's big boo-boo?
Yeah. We didn't talk about that. I was going to say that. Cam Hayward, you need to black out every coin flip. People talk about, oh, you want the ball to set the precedence. To me, I don't necessarily. I mean, and the Steelers had a perfect opportunity to bookend that has to give with touchdowns. There was the fumble by Washington. They were right down there to score.
I know.
So that's what was frustrating. But I still love that Detroit had -2 points off of turnovers.
Yes.
That's technically what they did.
Yes.
Because after the turnover, they lost 2 points. But the turnover there was the bigger thing was that it took away the 7 that they were going to get.
Yes.
But to me, you don't have to win the middleweight to win a game, although you've seen what that can do the last couple of weeks. The one thing you don't want to do is lose the middleweight because that can make you lose a game.
Yes.
You can have, no joke, you can have a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in the first half, and it could be a tie game before your offense touches the ball again.
Correct.
So that's why I'm always like defer. If nothing else, the other team can't do it to you. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
So, love that. That was really good. And all right, we've got to turn the
Move it
page.
on.
We're turning the page because, yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers can win the AFC North on Saturday night if the Green Bay Packers beat the Baltimore Ravens in Green Bay. That can happen. I put it out there on X, and I think you've even read it because I actually included an email of where Frosty had emailed us. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yep.
Here's my philosophy with that. I talked about it when I was doing the press conference recap earlier today. If I'm the Steelers, you are laser focused. You are preparing everything to go to Cleveland and win the AFC North. 100%.
Yep.
If things change Saturday night, the only thing that changes is you could allow people to have a break as the game goes on more than anything. I would not change who your starters are.
I
You
wouldn't.
prepared all week.
Yep.
And plus, not 2 games rest. That's what the 05 Colts did between resting the players the last week of the season and the bye week and came out super flat against the Steelers, and the Steelers made them pay. Don't do that. Nobody needs to rest for the final 2 weeks except for DK Metcalf because they're taking his money for it. So if that happens, you adjust as that game progresses, but nothing changes going up into your game plan and everything and who's available going into that game. Okay? That's the way I look at it. Because if you want to rest people, that's what week 18 would be for.
Yep.
Yeah. You like that?
I do.
Okay. So we've talked about the scenario that doesn't affect the Steelers. I'm finding it hard to talk about this game for the Browns on Sunday. I'm finding it hard to predict anything with it. I'm finding it hard, like, oh my goodness, I have to do a betting article for Corey Eckenroth that we do on SteelCurdNetwork.com that runs every game day. How are you going to bet when you don't know what happens Saturday night? It's nice to know, but to me that changes. When I wake up Sunday morning, my outlook for that game is going to be one way or the other. And it's so different. It makes it hard For as no, not the Steelers. They should be focused. But as a fan, it makes it hard to focus. Do you agree?
Yes. But, but in the end, it's the Cleveland Browns. We should be going in with the idea that, we own the Cleveland Browns. We need to continue to own the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. But we haven't owned the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland the last 2 years. We've lost the last 2 seasons in Cleveland.
That's right. But it's time to
But you know when they've
it's time to make them pay for their transgressions.
Okay. I agree with you with that one. I really do. So I'm trying to look up something why we do this. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers playing in Cleveland and their losses that they have there.
Last year was a Thursday night.
I think the year before might have been as well.
Yeah, it might have been.
That's what I'm trying to look up.
See, we're and this week we're going to be back to playing. It'll be in Cleveland, but it will be at 1:00 when God intended football to be played.
Yes. Yeah. So they've actually lost the last 3 in Cleveland. 2 of those 3 were Sunday nights. They lost them, or I say Sunday night, sorry.
Yeah,
Thursday nights.
Thursday nights.
I'm already confused. Okay. 2024 and 2022 lost Thursday night in Cleveland. Okay. They also did in 2019. They lost Thursday night. That was the infamous, helmet striking game.
Yes.
So they've lost. I don't want to make Steelers fans nervous. But in the last 7 games in Cleveland, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 1-5-1.
That doesn't scare me because it's Cleveland.
The only win was who owns Cleveland? Ben Roethlisberger in 2021 in Cleveland won the game 50-10.
Right. Now,
2020, Ben Roethlisberger didn't play in Cleveland. That was Week 18, and he didn't even go to Cleveland, and they almost beat him with Mason Rudolph, if you remember.
So let me ask you this, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to allow Cleveland to own him
No.
in Cleveland? No.
No.
I don't.
I don't either. Though honestly, out of all these games, the only one that's really bad. The Steelers lost on the last second kick in what was it? Was that 2023? Yeah. They lost 13-10 in 2023. In a game where Kenny Pickett threw for 106 yards.
I especially don't expect us to lose in Cleveland with the way we've been playing the last 3 games.
That's the key. So to me, it's not like, they own Cleveland. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been playing well. Now there's no DK Metcalf. You've got to overcome that. So
The nice thing is I think we have plenty of weapons to overcome that.
Yeah.
I do.
yeah.
Would I prefer to have DK Metcalf? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's still plenty there even without DK Metcalf. Because, by the way, kudos to Adam Thielen. Did he have a good game the other night or what?
Mm-hmm.
That was good. So you've got him and MVS that are getting more and more up to speed every week.
Yeah. Hey, someone brought up the live chat. That one win in Cleveland, that was the Boz concussion game.
Nice.
And remember, I'm like, if Boz doesn't get concussed, I don't know if the Steelers win that game because they would have kicked field goals, and instead they went for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't kick field goals.
Yep.
They didn't get any of the 2-point conversions, but they went for it and got the touchdowns. So, So, I mean, those games have all been kind of wonky. They really have. So you're exactly right. So, don't worry about the history in Cleveland. But you also have to, one thing you do need to worry about being in Cleveland, this is their Super Bowl every year because they're usually not playing for anything. So they're going to be up for this game. So would it be nice if the Packers did you a favor and Steelers fans don't have to worry about it? That would be great. But you know what? Even if the Packers do, I'm going to be upset if the Steelers don't win this game. I really don't. So anything else you want to say before you give your score?
No, I'm ready. Let's score it out.
Yep. Because Afton is exactly right. Division games, anything can happen. That's why I don't want this coming down to week 18 in Pittsburgh. So, all right. What do we got there, bro?
All right. This one, after, I'll end up jinxing it because 3 games in a row I pick us to lose and we end up winning. But honestly, with looking at things, these two teams, it really should come down to just what the Steelers offense can do against the Browns defense. The Browns offense doesn't particularly scare me. I think I told Kyle today that if the Steelers play it, they should be, if they play it right and hold on to them, that Shedeur Sanders should be good for 2 picks. I really expect to see the Steelers just control the Browns offense. That just the question will be is how do we do offensively against the Browns defense? I think Aaron Rodgers right now is playing the best he has played all season. He has really gotten
The best
comfortable.
he's played in like 4 seasons.
He's really gotten very comfortable with Arthur Smith's offense. He's really got the guys believing in things. I mean, gee whiz, the touchdown to Kenneth Gainwell, he just said, hey, motion out there and run a go. You know,
that was such a cool video. If you haven't
Yes, it
seen
was.
it, NFL Films has that. You can hear him tell him, he's like, motion out and run a go. And then phenomenal.
Yeah. If that if things remain how they've been going the past couple weeks, I do expect the Steelers to win this one. I'm going to go ahead and say Steelers 23, Browns 14.
20. Oh, I thought you were going to go with the 23-19.
No. No, because I don't expect it to be that close.
Yeah. And for those that are wondering, it was 23-9 in week 6 was the score. Just put that out there. So yeah. So there you go. All right. It's out there. It's in the live chat. Throw me your scores. We'll read through them before we get out of here. Oh, people were ready. They were ready. Here we go. Matt Cat, 27-16. Says feels odd. And Merry Christmas to everyone. So yeah, thank you, Matt Cat. Brian Brown says 40-13 Steelers. Oh, that would be so phenomenal. I don't know if the Steelers would score 40 points if the other team only has 13. I just don't know if they keep going unless they run for like 360 yards. After Ford says 24-21 Browns. I wonder if she's thinking that the Steelers that the Ravens are going to lose and the Steelers won't have as much to play for, or might be like me. I've been picking against the Steelers. It's been working. Well, I mean, last week I picked the Steelers to lose but cover, so therefore technically I got a point. Kathy Ford has 24-13 Steelers. Matthew Bunk has 42-9 Steelers. Merry Christmas, Dave and Big Bro. Well, I appreciate that. Outside Steeler fan says good guys 27-12, similar to last game. Here we go. Eric Weidman says Steelers 27-10. Brian Mizwa has 27-13 Steelers. Great One has 20-16 good guys. Okay, what's this one? Cord. We'll just say Cord.
Cord man Tommy.
There it is. Now it finally. Yeah, it finally popped in my brain. Cordman Tommy, 27-20 Steelers. Okay. Thanks, Mean Joe has 27-10 Steelers. Kyle Thick has 27-16 Steelers. Sam W has Steelers 17, Browns 13. Thomas JP has 17-14 Steelers. B Smiles has 27-21 Steelers. Valley Ford has 28-13 Steelers. So Afton explained hers. A lot of people are giving her a hard time. So here we go. 1, superstition. 2, this feels like one of those they should win, so they don't. Afton, stop ruining our December. We're going to stack as many wins as we can in December. That was the title of the show. But, Afton very well could be right. I really don't want the season coming down to week 18. I really don't. I want to know before the end of the calendar year if I'm going to be sitting in the stadium for a game that first wild card weekend. That's what I want to know. And everything. It's
Mark
funny. Outside
Tobin.
Steeler fan said 27 is the common score for the Steelers.
Nope, get up
Was I missed
above.
one? Oh, see,
Yep,
Mark
that
Tobin
one.
has guaranteed win and rest for the starters. Steelers 35-10. Here's what I'm really tempted to do. There's some interesting anomalies. I think the Steelers are going to score 30 points in this game. You want to know why?
Why?
Week 14, Ravens, they scored 27. Week 15 against the Dolphins, they scored 28. Week 16 against the Lions, they scored 29.
Okay.
It's the natural progression. Because I'd actually put this out there. The Detroit Lions were 7-1 if they scored 34 points or more. And they were 1-5 if they were under 34 points going into the game against the Steelers.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, if the Steelers keep them under that, they have a good chance to win. And they did. 24 points they scored in one against Tampa earlier in the season, 24 points, and they lost against Steelers. That's what it was. So do we have any more, or do we get them all? So people
got
are
them all.
just giving off the okay, I got to get rid of this one. Well, with that, I gave you the outline of coming out of the break of when you're going to have podcasts. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate anything at all. Steelers have been giving us good gifts through December. I just hope they continue on with it. And I said it before, make sure you're checking out SteelCurtainNetwork.com. That site is growing. And part of the reason it's growing is that you all are telling people about it. That's one of the biggest ways it can grow. I also think it's growing because we're checking out some really good content there. Rich, what do you have to say to close this out tonight?
Well, Dave, you were talking about people and if they celebrate. We should all be celebrating. We're all going to be celebrating Steelers victories. That's what we're going to celebrate. It's nice rolling into the holiday this week with that good feeling of coming off a win. Now, just want to keep that going. I am very happy to say that this Sunday at 1 p.m., when God intended football to be played, I will be sitting on my couch, ready to go, ready to cheer on the Steelers, and ready to get to another sweet smell of a Steeler victory. Can't wait.
We gotta just chill out, man.
Can't wait.